Hey guys, it's Coop from Garage and Reviews, and today is kind of a special video. Arnold's team, yes, the Arnold Schwarzenegger's team reached out to me saying they liked our content and they have a new email newsletter they've been putting together with Arnold's tips basically on living and life in general, but also just general training advice and things like that. It's called Arnold's Pump Club. I'll put a link below the like button where you can check it out. Legitimately, I'd tell you if it was just okay. It's actually really good. It's very motivational, also like very practical. But they reached out to us and were like, hey Coop, we've seen your stuff, we like your stuff, we'd like you to do some articles specifically on how to build a home gym for our audience they call the Village. So they published one, we have other ones coming out, but the goal is basically to do price-oriented gym builds. And the first one is a $100 gym build. And so this was my recommendation to Arnold Schwarzenegger on how to build a $100 home gym. Okay, so obviously with $100, you're not gonna get a squat rack, you're not gonna get adjustable dumbbells, you're not gonna get all this different stuff because you're not gonna have enough money. It's just not gonna go that far. But I do think it's not the tools, it's the person using the tools that ultimately accomplishes the goals. I just wanna make that from the start because I constantly recommend products and you can get in the realm where you're like, I'm gonna spend $10,000. Listen, you're not gonna be $10,000 fitter that day. It only comes when you use the equipment. And so that was the goal with this article, to basically get people to realize you don't need a crazy amount of stuff to start training. I like the tools, I like the stuff too, but really you just need to start using the stuff. And so I think with these 4 items, you could build a $100 home gym and get very fit and also pretty strong. So number 1, the first recommendation I'd have is for the gymnastics rings. I love the gymnastics rings. I think they're one of the most underrated home gym tools in the entire world. Despite me having literally every piece of equipment available to me that I could want, I still use gymnastics rings nearly every workout. They're the ultimate upper bodybuilder. If you look at the muscular development of gymnasts, it is ridiculous. Their biceps, their shoulders, their chest, their back. I mean, it is crazy. And they're only doing body weight workouts, but they're using them in such a way that they're controlling the leverages and therefore controlling the resistance and therefore just increasing muscle growth. So I love cable stacks, I love barbells, all that stuff, but man, you can get so much done with gymnastics rings. And here's the reality, they're super cheap. So there's 2 specifically that I recommended in the article and I'll recommend to you. We'll put links below the like button to all of these if you'd like to check them out. Just know they are affiliate links. So if you purchase them, wherever you buy them, the companies will pay a small commission, won't increase what you pay, but I just like to do that for transparency's sake. But there's 2. Number 1 is Titan Fitness. I've got these monkey rings in my garage where I do like these monkey bars with the rings. They're Titan Fitness gymnastics rings. They're the cheapest price to the best value that I've seen of wooden gymnastics rings. They're like 30 bucks for a pair. Long straps, you can throw over anything and work great. But that's if you're using them inside. If you don't have a place inside to put them, get some plastic rings. I've had the same set I bought on Amazon from Naoya. There's other companies that sell them. They're all pretty much the same thing. They're yellow, they're speckled, they're like a urethane, really firm. I've had them sitting outside literally for probably 10 years. Through all my different houses, I've had outside rings that I've used and they are cheap. They work well, probably like some of them are as cheap as like 15 bucks. Highly recommend them. Okay, the next one is a conditioning tool. Listen, if you want just to do regular conditioning, go outside and do hill sprints, go outside and walk, go outside and run. You can do all those things. You don't need a treadmill, you don't need an elliptical, you don't need, I don't know, the under desk tread. You just need to move more. That's what you need to do for conditioning. You just need to get outside and move more. Now, I like the treadmills, ellipticals, all those sorts of stuff. They can be great if you have the space and money. But generally, if you don't have a lot of money, it's not the tool that you need. And this tool, I think, is again, very similar to gymnastics rings, very underrated conditioning tool, and that is a jump rope. If you look at the conditioning level of boxers, it is absolutely ridiculous. They're able to go 10 rounds just getting their face knocked out, knocking other people out. The tool that they use most for conditioning outside of running and just their general training is the jump rope. It's unsexy, but man, it is so simple and sinister. It works so well. So highly recommend a jump rope. If you can't afford a jump rope, which by the way, I'll put some down below, they are very cheap, like $5-10 bucks. And also I wouldn't necessarily recommend a speed rope for people that are starting to to jump rope, I'd recommend more of a licorice style rope. It's a thicker rope, you can feel it better. You don't need to do double unders. If you'd like to, that's great, but really just need to get hopping over that rope and do it for time. You think like, oh, jump rope, I did that in elementary school. Go ahead, put a timer on, see how long you last on jump roping. It's hard. But if you can't afford a jump rope, you can find some rope around because you can use that as well, okay? Or you can just simulate. Honestly, you could just simulate using a jump rope and you get good conditioning too. Next one, this is actually something I built. This is a DIY product. This is one of the first DIYs that I did on the site, and it is a DIY slam ball. This is how it works. You go on Amazon, I'll put a link down below, and you find a medicine ball. You find a 4-square ball as big as you'd like. Okay, one I found was like, I think 16 inches, maybe 20 inches, like a monster 4-square ball. I'd love to just pound my kids with that thing.
Now you're all in big trouble.
But 16-inch 4-square ball. You cut an X in it, you then take sand and you fill it with sand as much as you can. You then, this is the cool part, you take a tire repair kit. Both of them are rubber, the patch as well as the actual 4-square ball. You need them to both be rubber so they flex a little bit. You then use the seal, they give you some sealant, it's like some sort of epoxy, put it on there, let it sit overnight. I'm telling you, I've had so many people message me about this 100-pound DIY slam ball. It works so well, it can last a long time. Obviously, like, it's not a super thick outside wall, but if you're somewhat careful with it, it should last you quite a while, and you can decide how much weight you can put in there. You can make that for super cheap. Pick it up, put it down, build strength. Okay, then lastly, this was another early DIY I had. When I started my home gym, I had zero money. My wife was in nursing school, and I was just trying to start a business. So anything I could figure out to build my home gym, I did. This is what I did for my sled. On the way home from the CrossFit gym, because I was tired of paying the freaking CrossFit fees, I was trying to build a gym. Man, CrossFit, it was so expensive. But on the way, I remember driving by this tire on the side of the road all the time. I was like, I'm gonna pick that tire up and I'm gonna figure out a way to build a sled with it. So what I did was I picked the tire up, I took it home, I bought some 2x4s, I made an internal sled inside the 2x4 that then had a metal guide rod that screwed in. It was just like a black iron pipe that I found from Home Depot so I could put plate on it. I then took a U-hook, placed it inside the tire, and then attached a rope on the end. You got a sled. I dragged that thing all over my freaking neighborhood. I'm sure my neighbors hated me. I think a sled is another tool that you can use both for conditioning, but also for pulling. It's gonna build leg strength. You can do curl, you can do all sorts of stuff with a sled, but it's very cheap. And this is a way that I think you can build a very effective home gym for, I mean, all this stuff. You can build all this for less than $100. It's pretty cool. So, thank you, Arnold Schwarzenegger and your team for reaching out. Who wants to see an Arnold walkthrough? If you'd like to see us do a walkthrough through Arnold's gym, his home gym, let me know in the comments. That would be like, you probably just wouldn't see any more videos from me. I just quit. You know, that's how much I want to do this. It'd be amazing. But let us know in the comments if you'd like to see that. Also, if you'd like to see the other articles, make sure you sign up at the link below. Like button. This has been Coop from Garage Gym Reviews. I'll see you next time. Peace.